Hello friends and welcome back to Purus Tech Java tutorials. In this session, we are going to learn break and continue keywords in the loops and how it is getting used inside the loops, and Java object creation through the new keyword. Since there are many methods to create an object, so we'll just use the new keyword to create an object and the method invocation on the particular object. So let's start. So break and continue, I will explain you on this particular for loop, which we covered in the last session, for loop. So this is a simple for loop, which starts with value of I equal to 1 and it will continue up to I value of 5. So this is just printing value of 1 to 5. Value of I is 1 to up to 5. Let's say in some condition um, I don't want to continue with the loop. I just want to break. I just want to come out of the loop. So let me just write a statement here out of the loop. So here I'll just write break. So when I will break, let me give a condition if I value equal to 3. So when I value will be equal to 3, I don't want to execute this particular loop. I just want to come out of the loop. Okay, and it will print this particular statement. So let's run this. Yeah, as you can see here, value of I is 1, value of I is 2. So what is happening next? When the value is incrementing the value of I to the value 3, this condition is getting satisfied and it is coming out of the loop. So when it is coming out of the loop, it is printing this particular statement out of the loop. So let's put here continue. So what is happening? Let's see. So continue is what we are telling is, we are telling to the system that when the value of I equal 3, okay, while executing this particular loop, when the value of I will become 3, I will continue. Continue means I don't want to execute whatever it is written below the continue statement. Okay, I don't want to execute. So what is not executing here? This line number 10 will not be executed when the value of I equal to 3. So it will just keep the line number 10. Whatever is written below the continue statements, it won't be executed. Let's run this so that it will become clear. As you can see here, value of I is 1 for the first time, second time 2. For the third time, as I have given a continue statement, that means I want to skip all the statements, whatever is below the continue will not be executed. So this particular sysout is not at all executing. As you can see here, the value of I is 4. It is not being executed for the value of 3. Hope this is clear, I think. Break and continue. Now let's start with object creation. I'll just modify this particular main method to a little bit different. I'm writing a second method. Since main method is the first method, okay, main is also one method. I'm writing the second method. and I will paste all these for loop statements. Now, as I already discussed about the classes and objects, let me just repeat all those things so that again you will revise all these things. So what is a class? Class is nothing but a template of all those objects. It's a kind of frame. So what is there in this frame? It has a main method, okay, that is a static, okay, as well as did I mention? No. So let's cover the static also, static method. So the main method belongs to the class. It doesn't belong to the object. Okay, wherever I'm writing static, static is the keyword. So wherever I'm writing static method, this belongs to the class, not the objects. Let's open MS Paint and let me explain you. Let's take, this is the frame. Okay, in this particular frame, what is there? Main method is there. So I can write main method. What else is there? A second method is there. One more is second method. So this will act as a frame. Okay, so since main method is a static method, as you can see here, it belongs to the class itself. So let's label it as loop example. So this is the class. So when I'm going to create an object of this class, so I'll just build an object. I can build multiple objects from the same class. So as you can see here, there are three objects, and in these three objects, since the second method is not a static method, this particular method will be taken from this loop example class. Okay, here I will write second method. So all these objects will have its own second method. Okay, which are all independent. So as you can see, these objects are independent of each other. There is no relation between all these objects, but they belong to a single template. Okay, single class. So let's create an object so that we'll just see what all we are doing. So how do we create an object of a loop example? Just we'll say loop example. Loop example is a reference variable. So this is anyhow, this is a variable of type this. As we had seen earlier also, there are some inbuilt primitive data types like that. Here, this is a class. So it will act as a type. Okay. LE is a variable name equal to new loop example. Now I have created a single object. So I can say that I will, let me just erase it. So let's erase two objects. As you can see, I have created a single object. I have kept only single object. Now, how do I call this second method from here, the main method? So I'll just say le dot second method. So I'm by using this particular reference variable. So in this reference value, so what will happen here? a reference variable called LE, and this reference variable will point to this object. Okay, and through this reference variable I am calling the second method. So let's run this program. See here, I'm getting the same output whatever I was getting earlier. So there is a concept of like static method cannot call a non-static method. Let's take that example. So I'm creating a third method, which is a static method which belongs to only the class, not the object. Let's say I wanted to call this particular method from here, third method. So second method. Okay. See here, it is complaining. So non-static method cannot be referenced in a static context. Fine. So this is one more concept. You cannot call a non-static method or non-static variables. You cannot use it inside a static method. So just remember this particular thing. But the reverse is allowed, pretty much allowed. Let's sys out, I'll say third method. And let me try to call this particular third method after this out of the loop. Okay. See here, it is represented by italics characters. So that means it's a static method call. Let me run this program. See here, out of the loop. So after executing this out of the loop statement, it is calling the third method, which is a static method. Okay, so to remember the things, the static method can only call static method, or it can use the static method as well as the static variables. It cannot use a non-static things. But the reverse is pretty much allowed, which is the non-static method can use the static method as well as the static variable. So as a summary, static method or static variables. Okay, so how you can define a static variable? Just say static int var equal to 6. So what is happening here? Static int means just I'm declaring a variable which is of integer type, which is at the class level, not the object level. So this will be common for, you can say this particular variable and this particular method is common for all these objects. Okay, so here I'll just include one more variable. Let's say var variable, and if I'll just create some more objects. So all these objects of this class loop example will share the same value of this variable. So you can see this particular object will refer the static variable, and this particular object will refer the same static variable. Also this particular object will refer the same static variable. So that means if you will modify this particular static variable by one of these objects, as you can see here, I have created a single object. Okay, you can create multiple objects, and if you will change the value of var in one particular object through one particular object, then that variable will be changed for all, since all these objects is referring to the same variable. Let's take that example. Loop example le1 equal to new loop example. Loop example le3 equal to new loop example. Now I will just say le dot var equal to 8. Okay, so that means I'm just changing the value of the static variable to 8. Okay, before to that, let's try to print it. Sysout value of var is, I can say static var 6. Okay, so I'm just changing it to 8, and then so here what I have done, the value of static variable I'm printing, so it will print as 6, and then I'm changing through this particular reference variable le.var equal to 8, so it is changing the value to 8, and then I'm printing the value of var variable through le1. It's a different reference variable, okay, and for the different object, but still the value will print as 8. Okay, so let's just will not call this method, since we are just explaining about the static variable. I don't want this le3 also. Let's run this program. As you can see here, for the first time the value of var equal to 6, and next time I'm changing the value of var through this le object reference variable to 8, but still the value of var through the other reference variable is also changing. That means the static variable is shared by all the objects. So if you change from a first object, then it will also reflect in the second object, right? Hope this is clear to you. If anything is unclear, please write it in the comment box. We'll try to clear that concept. In the next session, we are going to cover the string family classes like string, string builder, string buffer, all those things. Thanks for watching this video and stay tuned.